Hey everybody, Chris here. Looks like we have another red day in the crypto market. Is this the sign of a healthy pullback or is something else going on? We're going to talk about that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when the videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. We have been concentrating a lot on the market makers and exchanges, taking out a lot of shorts over the past few days as prices were going up. It is manipulation too, going up as well as down. But there was retail buying as well on the way up. But now we have seen a little bit of a pullback and the market makers are taking out longs. That's right. That's how the crypto market goes, up and down, taking out the shorts and the longs. So we do have prices a little lower now. We're hitting resistance levels before. Now we're looking at support. Where is the support? How will this market go forward? Let's get into it. Let me show you the charts on the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. And we start here with the current Dogecoin chart, and we are in the 13s, my friends, 13.96. The price of Dogecoin has re-entered the brown box. That's right. This was our support level, used to be resistance, and it's now support on a pullback. We had 15.4 up here was the resistance level, and on Tuesday, Dogecoin had actually traded up above. This, of course, was the manipulation up to take out some longer shorts before the price dropped down, taking out more longs. So that manipulation there, and the same thing happened with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now under $90,000 at 89.7. And again, this was the manipulation we were looking at. Up and then down, taking out all of that leverage. It was like $400 million. Bitcoin, ETH, yes, even ETH had the same kind of move, right? Same kind of move, and now coming down. And we'll see if ETH holds 3,000. That could be in play down here with ETH. Well, Bitcoin has already dropped below 90K, and I'll give you a little hint as to how that happened and why Bitcoin may actually drop a little lower. And then finally on Doge, we've got what we were looking at during our live stream yesterday, which was kind of interesting, is this a big cup and handle? Is this just a big cup and handle from Tuesday through last night? And now if we complete the handle here and make a comeback up to 15.4, that would be the true cup and handle. You know, I don't believe in these things, right? Cups and handles don't always mean that price is going to take off higher. It only happens like half the time, and the other half it drops lower. So, but it's fun to talk about because you see so many other talking about, oh, cup and handle, reverse head and shoulders, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Right now, though, with this support failing at 14, are we going to come back down to 13 cents, which is the next support line for Doge? Let's get into it. Let's get to the latest news and what is going on. Well, pre-market, I'm recording this on Thursday before the stock market opens. And pre-market, we've got a little pullback here. Dow down a little bit, S&P down a little bit, NASDAQ down a little bit. So we do have jobless claims, right? We have jobless claims numbers coming out at 8:30 in the morning Eastern time. We'll see whether the numbers are good or not. If we've got over 200K, it looks like there may be a bit of a pullback again. That is right here. I posted that this morning on X. U.S. Federal Reserve will release initial jobless claims at 8:30 a.m. East Coast time. Follow me on X. Follow me because, you know, I cover these things and it's worth keeping up with what's going on. Ash Crypto says, look, the market since Trump took office, silver is up 177%. Gold is up 68%. Bitcoin down 8%. Ethereum down 8%. And Doge, yeah, it's down a little more. Thank you, Mr. President. And Lark says, yeah, 99% of altcoins are down 90%. So Doge is holding up better than that. But you look at all those other meme tokens and all those other low cap alts, and yeah, they're down. They're really down. So a lot of people predicting like altcoin season coming, and I'm just like, where's all that money going to come from to make a true altcoin season? The money, it's not there. It's not there. So we're holding on. We're holding on. Also, as Lark points out, like the crypto fear and greed index just dropped from 41 to 29. We're back in fear. We're back in fear on the crypto fear and greed index, as there is weakness now in the market after the first 5 or 6 days of 2026 when we saw some nice positive gains in buying. Basically, crypto Twitter will never be a good and positive mood again unless we pump in a straight line up to 100K. Bitcoin leads the way. And with Bitcoin now below 90, we're in fear. The bad market sentiment is back. BTC has filled its one CME gap. The higher CME gap has now filled last night. And this was the second one of 2026. The first one was here from the 2025 close for CME, and then the 2026 open. There's this gap here. The bottom of that gap is at 88.2. 88.2 is in play now for Bitcoin. And I made my own chart of it right here on my charts. This is what it looks like. So Wednesday night, Bitcoin drops, and we have that gap filled. So we still have this gap back here from the new year, the bottom of which is like 88.2, 88.180, right in that range right there to fill that gap. Now, I say, right, I don't make the rules, but these gaps have a habit of filling. That's just the way it is, right? So that is in play now for Bitcoin. Meanwhile, Tracer says, look, Binance, Coinbase, Bybit, nonstop dumping millions of Bitcoin ahead of the jobless claims release. They're liquidating over $200 million of longs. This is the manipulation here. This is the market makers using the exchanges, dumping coins, right? They're essentially like shorting the market. They're dumping all of these coins on the market to lower the price, to take out the leverage longs, and then they buy back in at a low price when they want the price to come back up. That is how it works. Now, if you're confused about this and you haven't heard me talk about it before, come join my live streams. I'll be starting Thursday, probably a little later than 4 o'clock, so don't get worried. Maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock. We'll see what time that is, but make sure that you're subscribed and you got your notifications on so you know when I go live. Ask questions. I'm one of the best on YouTube about responding to questions that people have in the chat, particularly about crypto and finances. So join in on the lives. We try and make it fun even when we have red days. We still try and make, because you got to live, right? You got to live. But we'll talk about portfolios and we'll talk about how the outlook is. We'll continue the discussion. But right now, right now it's red. Over $166 million in long positions liquidated from the cryptocurrency market in just the past 4 hours. That's what we got going on. Meanwhile, we got these guys looking at their rainbow charts, right? And it says, well, we zoom out. We look at the overall idea here. The chart shows Bitcoin still respecting its power law regression band, a structure that is held across every cycle. Historically, dips into the blue-green zones weren't tops. They were accumulation phases. True cycle peaks only formed in the red zone. And I'm like, nope, not this time. We had the peak down here. Right? The peak was here, which is an all-time high of 126,200, and it was in their so-called green zone. This is what I talk about, the flattening of Bitcoin because of its, over $1 trillion market cap now. We're not going to have these big, huge runs up anymore percentage-wise. I don't think that's going to happen. It's all kind of flattening out. This is the banks, the institutions, the governments, all getting involved in Bitcoin. And it's all kind of flattening out. This rainbow chart is being invalidated. So, Bitcoin, what happens? Typically, we see these pullbacks, right? We got all these wedges. We got all the wedgies, right? And this is the one from 126.2 that we had right at the first week of October. And then we have this pullback to the end of the year and then opening 2026 up. and now coming back down. So we're stuck. We're not even 90,000 now, we're at 89. What's the next move, right? What's the next move? So right now, this relief rally, are we going to finish out that handle, right? We saw in Doge, are we going to see that continuation of a relief rally up higher before the inevitable drop into a bear market, or is this just the start we have right now? That's the question we have before us. If it's over for Bitcoin and it just continues lower in this range, alts are probably going to just retrace most of their move. I think the next few days are going to be pretty telling. If this happens, memes are going to zero again. And then Altcoin Sherpa says, well, obviously zero is extreme. They'll never go to real zero, but just retrace a lot of the entire move, which for some of them is significant, in my opinion, probably anywhere from 10 to 30% for many of them from here. So this is what's at stake here. We also have in altcoin news, we've got Zcash. Zcash is dumping this morning. The core development team resigned, and they've sold over 15% of the supply in the last 10 hours. Zcash, the privacy coin, right? Everyone is big on Zcash, and a lot of people were buying up in the 400s, even up near 500, right? There's a lot of buying up here, a lot of accumulating, trying to get on the Zcash bandwagon, and now it's dumping below 400. So be careful with Zcash in your portfolio. There may be a little relief rally on it, because this is going to get traded heavily, and it's going to be longed and shorted and all kinds of things. High volatility on Zcash. Be careful out there. What's going on with Doge? Well, we had these tweezer candlesticks that Trader Allen looked at. This was at 5:44 a.m. This was 2 hours ago. Now we look at the monthly on the Doge chart, and you know what? Not so much tweezer anymore, because that green candle is not even with the red anymore, because we've had a big retracement down below 14 cents. So what Trader Allen was showing there before has become invalidated in just 2 hours with the pullback. It's still green on the month. We still have a green January so far for 2026. It would have to come all the way back down to 11.8 to turn into a red. That would be a huge dump, and I'm not looking at that right now. Trader Allen also says, look, on the bullish pennant, right? Bullish pennant is forming. Target of 20 cents. This is my prediction if we have that true full relief rally. If the market really turns around and does this bullish pennant move, 20 cents has been my target of a true full relief rally. This might have been it, though, guys, for 2026. This might have been it. We're losing the momentum right now. Is this a short-term pullback before a big move up, or is this going to fail? That's what we're going to be watching. Dogecoin price pulls back after a 23% rally. The bigger move could still be coming. And is that bigger move up or down? It's correcting, right? As indicated by the 4-hour chart, which shows short-term profit taking. Well, I think it's more than just profit taking. As we saw, right, the market makers, exchanges are manipulating the market, and they're dumping right now to take out long leverage trades. The key support level to hold is 14 cents. Well, as of this morning right now, as I'm recording this, 14 cents has failed on the short term. We're at 13.98 now, so we will be watching and seeing what happens, whether this is just a dip below to the high 13s and the price comes back up into the 14s or not. We'll be watching that. A breakout above 16 cents could lead to 19 or 20, which was my target, but losing support raises the downside risk back to the 11s. That would be back to the 11s where Dogecoin was to start the year 2026. That would be a true telltale sign that we're indeed in a bear market. Now, they do have a couple charts here. I'm just going to go to the second one, which shows as we zoom out what happened from the October 10th flash crash, recovery back up. And that recovery back up actually did come up over 20 cents. But since then, fear in the market took over through the rest of October, through November, and then through December, we had 3 red months in a row down to the yearly close. So that yearly close at like 11.7, this is how we started 2026 on this uptrend here. That was a pretty good move. Is this going to fail back down, or are we going to see kind of that bigger cup and handle happen? So that's where we are right now. The fib lines are at 16.1 for the next big resistance, and then 18.9 or 19. And my target then would be above that to 20 cents if we have a continuation of the relief rally up. Downside, 11.6 would be our support. So we will be watching that as well. Let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about this move right now? It's not looking good on a red day. Give the video a like if you haven't already. Please subscribe to the channel. Appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.